Hello out there. This is Pamela Fagan Hutchins, and you've reached Wine, Women, and Writing. This is the show where I get to talk with some of my favorite authors about their books, their characters, especially about the way in which those characters draw us in, because they're just like, in many ways, the people we know best, and yet in other surprising ways, not like them at all. So before we get started with my guest, so you can see her over there if you're watching this on videocast. If not on podcast, it's still a big surprise. But I got to say this is a solely owned and copyrighted production of Authors on the Air Global Radio Network. All hail Pam Stack, she from whom all blessings.
All hail.
Producer. And with no further ado, let me tell you that you could have already known who I was going to interview today if you'd gone out to my website, PamelaFaganHutchins.com, where you can see past shows, you can see upcoming shows, you can read the books and then be in the know when I talk to the authors like you would be today. And you can also see some of my books, which never hurts my feelings, like my new release, Stag Party. So I am very excited to welcome to the show Kerry Anne King. She is, by the way, one of my favorite authors. So everybody give her a big hello and a wave from wherever you are out there. Welcome back, Miss Kerry Anne King.
Thank you so much. I am so absolutely delighted to get to talk to you again.
I know. I love it. It's like having a friend over.
Yeah. Except I want to be where you are. I love your wood and it's just so inviting and cozy. And
one of these days you have to come. It's a popular place up here on the face of the mountains. We run the upper 3 stories as a lodge 6 months of the year. So a lot of people pass through here. But today we're between guests. And I told my husband, I've got an hour. I'm using the pretty part of the house for this show. So we're in the pretty part. So Kerry is on the show today because earlier this week, I don't even know what today is. Today's like the 23rd of September, I think.
yeah, I think so. That seems right.
2021. And you just had a book release.
I did. Here's, if you're looking on the video, here it is right here. It's called Other People's Things.
I love it. Now, one of the really cool things about getting to be me or Kerry Anne, because we both get this special life privilege, is reading books before they're published. Yeah. And I got to read Other People's Things a few months ago, and I've had to sit on my hands and wait for it to be published to talk to you about how much I loved this book. Are you getting good feedback about this book from readers?
I am. That's always you write a book and you like it maybe some of the time at least, and then you put it out there and it's just kind of a little bit of terror while you're waiting for the reviews to start coming in. And so far, I've just been hearing a lot of really awesome stuff from readers who are loving the character, loving the book, and that is just such a relief and such a happy making thing.
It is, but you know what? You guys, I had read, I think the first of your women's fiction Kerry Anne King books before I ever met you. And then I got the chance to read, I'm going to say it was Everything You Are, and have you on the show for the first time. I've got to tell you, every one of your books is so uniquely imagined and different, and you surprise me every time. And this one was no different, and I've loved them all. So I want you to tell us a little bit about this book. I know you have to be careful about spoilers because this book is full of this wonderful character and all these great surprises. So just a teaser.
Okay, so really, the teaser for this book is about the main character. So our main character, Nicole, who goes by the name Nickel to those who know her, has a unique problem. She is compelled to move objects from one place to another. Now, the people around her call it stealing. She's been diagnosed with kleptomania, but the truth is she is not a thief. These objects require moving. They're in the wrong place. They need to be somewhere else. And unfortunately, they're other people's things. When she moves them, she tends to get in trouble. So as the book begins, we have a character who is turning 30. She's a high school dropout. She's been in and out of jail. She's been to juvie. Her family is about done with her. She's getting divorced from her husband because, well, she moved something of his that was rather valuable and he is not happy. And, you know, life is really falling apart for her. So she's determined. She's going to change her ways. No matter how compelled she feels to move things, she's not going to do it anymore. Her older sister gives her a job in the family business cleaning houses, which is a very, very, very bad career choice for somebody who moves things. She comes across a book that requires moving, and, well, that just opens up this whole big can of worms and things unfold from there.
So for me, when I read this book, knowing about, shall we say, your day job, you being in a position where you counsel people, you know, and help them with problems, I couldn't help but think, how in the world did you get this idea? Did you have this fabulous client that had this problem, or did you read about it somewhere, or did you just think this up? Because this is the most unique character trait that I've come across in a while. I really loved it.
I'm so glad. And I've been hearing that. That just makes me happy. And that's something I have been hearing from readers, that this is something that they hadn't read and that they're liking that. I really have never had a client who had kleptomania type symptoms. So I actually had to do some research on that. But she doesn't really fit. Mm-hmm. You know, there are some things that are the same. And I would like to take credit for creating this character. I really, really, really would. But she honestly just showed up and started. She did. Hi, I'm Nicole. I move things. I'm not a thief. Like that.
And imagine how difficult this would be to have someone like this in your life, because no matter how pure their intentions, they just wreak havoc wherever they go.
Absolutely. It's like living with an addict. I've been, you know, some readers have been expressing some dissatisfaction in the way Nicole's family treats her. And they really think that her family should have been nicer. But I would like to make the point that it's like living with an addict. Yeah. She has done this thing over and over and over and over again. And she's promised not to, and she's had the best intentions. And yet she continues to do things that create havoc, disrupt the family, cause her to get a lot of attention from the parents, which one of her sisters really resents. And it's like that, you know, if you have an addiction or something in real life, that's how families react.
It's funny because it's like part of it manifests itself like an addiction. It has that detrimental effect on people around her that feel like they're enabling it. And at the same time, she comes across almost like a martyr or a saint, in the sense that she's compelled to do things out of goodness, you know, inside her. And so she's causes trouble, but she's misunderstood. And it creates these ripples within her personal relationships. Her sister, whose business she is dismantling, you know, her family, who, you know, her mother, you know, who a complicated relationship with this daughter, a best friend that is also harmed by her, even though has the most empathy for her, but just a lot of really complex relationships that I found really to be the heart of the book. And I loved, as an attorney, that this all resolved itself. We can't say how. We can't go too spoiler here. But in a really good sequence of courtroom scenes that have us hearing. So zip it. Zip it. I don't know how much I can say there. Just zip it.
I'm not going to say much more about the courtroom thing either, although it was really fun. But I have a friend, Susan Spann, thank you so much, who helped me with my legal issues, because there were things that I had questions about and could have got wrong. And she read and advised and helped me get that all sorted. So
the other thing about Nicole that tugged at my heartstrings was how uniquely her troubles put her in a position to be taken advantage of, that it
Yeah.
made her vulnerable. And so even at the same time as you're thinking, okay, you're pretty much, whether you mean to or not, you're just trampling all over a lot of people's lives, whether you mean to or not. At the same time, you're thinking, oh gosh, no, oh no, Nicole, no, because she's stepping into another situation where your heart broken. And on the subject of complex relationships, as you said, she's moving things. She's moving things when she's helping her sister clean, but discovers another really fraught with peril female relationship in that interaction. So for those of you that know that I'm a sucker for good female relationships and stories, you know why I love Kerry Anne King. Right there. This would be it. So now, we can't say what the ending was, but
Nope.
Where do you go after a character like Nicole? Is there more Nicole coming? When you're wearing your other hat, you guys, not that she has multiple personality disorder, she has multiple author disorder, and multiple author disorder. She also writes under another name, Kerry Schaefer. And her website, as you can see here on the screen, is all things Kerry, since there are more than one Kerry. So not like Sybil, but more than one Kerry, like in a good way. But you've written series in some of your other genres.
Mm-hmm.
Sequels
Yeah.
might ever occur over here in this Kerry Anne King space.
I'm actually kind of hopeful. I've had a lot of early readers who have requested that we get more from, and I think I can say this. There's a character in this book whose name is Hawk. He is a private investigator, and there are ways in which Hawk may be able to use Nicole's special abilities in his PI business. So I will confess, when I finished this book, I had thoughts about, I wonder if, because it would be so fun to write a book where the two of them were working together. So
it's almost like, well, it is with her like a supernatural ability. It's not something within our 5 traditional senses. It's coming to her from another place.
Right.
And then we've got Hawk, who, by the way, of course, is like super tough and sexy, like you would expect him to be, broken in his own way. So, good stuff there. Just saying. Those of us that write mystery, thriller, suspense are kind of thinking, woo, little sunline here, but it really is a very fascinating thing to think about, because you could really see how she could both help him and be the cause of
all kinds of chaos.
Yeah, which is where the best fiction lies, is chaos and humiliation.
Yeah, I feel that, the more I hear from readers who love it and would like to see a sequel. So let me know if you read and you love and you would like to see more. Then I have something I can take back to my editor and say, hey, I heard from a whole lot of people that would really like to see this. And then it's more likely that they would maybe, give me a contract to do that.
So you guys, and the email for them to contact you to forward to your editor would be that on that website, or
there's contact information on my website, or you can just email me always at contact@kerryschaefer.com.
Cool. SCHAFER.
Kerryschaefer.com. Don't put an extra E in there. Don't double the F. It will bounce back to you.
Yeah, when we're doing this interview, Kerry and I can see each other, but I know the vast majority of you out there will hear this via podcast. So we have to throw a little spelling in there for you. So now, with that in mind, is this the first of your women's fiction type of series where you had thought, oh yeah, I could keep writing these characters, or do the others stick with you as well?
There was in Everything You Are, I kind of had an idea that it would be fun. There's a group in that book that is kind of an alternative to Alcoholics Anonymous, and they do things. What they do is they go around, have assignments to do something that makes somebody else happy. And I thought it would be fun to spin another book around those people. Because it's kind of cool what they do. And there were some interesting characters that were in that group.
you just have so many ideas. You've got so many different things to keep going. How do you ever not go on to the next idea? So speaking of which, what are you working on right now?
Ooh, I am. It's really fun. I'm on deadline at the same time as I'm on launch week. This book is due October 1st, and it's not done. Don't tell my editor. So I'm staying calm. I haven't breathed in the paper bag yet. It's called Improbably Yours, and it's a little bit more similar to other people's things than it is to my previous books. So again, it's about a younger character. She's 30-ish, actually turning 30. Her problem really is that she has allowed everybody to tell her how her life is going to be. So she has gone through medical school, although she really didn't want to, doesn't really like it. She has been offered a residency that she doesn't want to take. She's in a relationship with a man that she likes but doesn't necessarily want to marry. And for her 30th birthday, she's presented with the residency, a marriage proposal in a very public place with everybody there at the party. And she's saved sort of by a balloon man who comes in with a singing telegram, who also brings her a message from her grandmother, who has been dead for 20 years. Which includes a treasure map and a request to bury Nomi's ashes at the place that is on the map. The problem being that the character remembers drawing this map herself when she was 6.
Oh, how cool.
So that sets up a fun little, adventure that I'm playing with.
So with, as I'm thinking back on the books of yours that I've read, a couple of them have had this really cool supernatural or beyond the 5 senses sort of element to it, which kind of gets over into the other Kerry.
Yeah.
That's kind of the crossover. So tell everybody just a little bit, for those that love that element of what you write, about that other Kerry.
The other Kerry. Fantasy was one of my first loves. So as Kerry Schaefer, as an author, my first book that was published was a fantasy novel. It was called Between, and that is a trilogy. And I do continue to love that sort of thing. I'm doing another series as Kerry Schaefer that is super fun. It's paranormal mystery. It has a protagonist who is older. It's set in a retirement community where there are a bunch of beasties and ghoulies and things that go bump, and weird, dark humor on a regular basis. I love these books. So it was really fun for me to be able to bring that love over a little bit into other people's things. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit, to bring a touch of magic into what I'm writing as Kerry Anne King.
Yeah, I believe in a touch of magic. And I believe that there is a touch of magic in our lives around us if we open ourselves up to it. So why shouldn't our books reflect that? Do you believe that there's a touch of magic in your life?
I do. Yeah. I do. Really, honestly, I believe there are many things that are beyond our ability to sense and see. I definitely have intuition about things. There are coincidences that happen that just make you go, whoa, did that really happen right now? I believe in precognitive dreams. I think I would love to be a psychic. I'm not, but I do believe that there are people who have that ability. So when you play with those things in your books, it's called magic. But I think that it might just be real. So
I do too. Another reason you need to come see me in Wyoming, so we can talk about these things in more depth without sounding crazy on the air, because we're not crazy. No, I totally believe in it. 100% believe in it. And I'd love to talk to you about it sometime. So you guys by now should know that I am legitimately a Kerry Anne King fan. And I want you to go out and get a copy of other people's things if you haven't done so. This is a creative book with a character. I think, let me just sum it up by saying her vulnerability, yet her special, unique qualities and almost saintliness at the same time as she's a hot mess makes this package that is going to stick with you. Stick with you enough that you're probably going to email Kerry and say, please tell me we'd like to see more, a little spinoff series here. But she's special, and this is Nickel and Other People's Things. But you might as well read Kerry Ann's other books while you're at it.
They're all on sale right now, as a matter of fact.
That's cool. Way to go, Amazon, doing that kind of thing. So nice way to launch the book too. Hope it does good for you. So you guys, go back out to my website quick before you forget, and you can check out the upcoming shows. You can check, I've got some really cool people coming up. Kerry, did you know that in the last month, I have interviewed Sandra Brown and Marsha Mueller, two of my, I've been the hugest fan of both of them for forever. And in the last month, I mean, I might as well quit now. I've got you back on the show. I had both of them. I don't think it ever gets any better than this. So, but it might. So watch the schedule this fall. I've got some good people coming up, and you can check out those books, read ahead, and be ready for more scintillating discussions like that we have had today with Kerry.
Awesome.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.